Welcome back to the program of HR Week 2020. Next up, a person whom you've already seen during the last 4 days of the conference. So Dusan Basalo is an entrepreneur, consultant, and coach with over 15 years of experience. Impact on growth and development, both on companies and individuals, are what have always driven him and made his story specific. This time, he won't be interviewing someone, but he will be having a keynote. So welcome, Dusan.
Thank you, Anna. Hello.
Hi, nice to have you here. So we're really looking forward to your topic, and I would like to encourage the audience to ask the questions while you're presenting so that I can return with some Q&A.
Yeah, sure. I invite them also, and I'm glad to finally have an opportunity to be alone, at least for some time, not to have a panel, but we'll have another panel in 1 hour.
Yes.
So hello everybody. My name is Dusan Basalo, and I'm a founder and CEO of a company called Talks and Hopes. It is a managerial agency which represents some of the most successful people from business in the region who are willing to share their knowledge and experience through individual mentoring sessions and also as keynote speakers on different conferences. So I gave this introduction because it's very connected with the topic that I will speak in the next 20-25 minutes. And that is an interesting topic, which is why chief HR officers or HRs in general never becomes a CEO. Actually, I didn't want to make any guesses and didn't want to make and to put my inputs into this presentation. So I did a lot of interviewing. I have a possibility to work and to speak with a lot of CEOs through the agency I'm leading and also on the market. So I asked them this question. If you listen to some of the panels during the previous days, you also experienced that I asked some of my panelists the same question and got different answers. So let's see some of the answers that they gave me. Just to stress once again, don't shoot the messenger. This is not something I said and I'm thinking, but something I got as their point of view and information they shared with me. So here are a couple of the things that I got as an insight from their side. The first one they're most often sharing and saying is that HR is no fit for critical situation. What does it mean? It is said that usually new CEOs are chosen in the times of crisis, economical crisis, market going down, or some other kind of difficult situations. And in this kind of situation, the picture that the management or the CEOs have about the HR is that the HR is not the perfect match for critical times, but for the times when everything goes smoothly, when everything is okay, and when we can look at the long-term impact. So the sentence they say is we usually choose new management in the time of crisis. And in this kind of situation, some CFOs or some CMOs, people from the commercial aspect or finances, they're much better in this kind of defensive strategies, or how to say, the times when we need to save the company, not to expand it. The second reason that CEOs are saying regarding possibilities of HR becoming a new CEO is that people from HR division focus more on people than performance of the company. They say that HR is so-called soft on underperformers, that usually when underperformers are not delivering the results that they're expected, that HR hesitates to do any kind of actions or to remove those underperformers from the company, or they are taking a lot of time to make decision or to do something with the whole situation. So this is also additional input. The third one is about the understanding of the finances as a topic in general, and also the market. So one of the sentences that are said is that HR does not have these skills, knowing the finances or knowing the market, that HR people are usually not interested in these topics. And whenever we are speaking about finances and the market situation, HR is absent or totally unaware of the importance of those topics. Also, the picture here is that HR doesn't know all the nice and interesting and important words regarding finances, all the terminology that is used in everyday business and everyday approach to the market. The next one is financial metrics of HR practices. So it is being said that if you are in CMO area, or if you are in financial area, or any other area, basically, you have some kind of specific metrics, how to measure what is going on with your practice, how good you are at your work, your whole department or the division that you are leading. And basically, that you can show those results. You can present them very practically. But regarding HR practices, it is said that it is very hard to prove that the practices that we do as HRs really work, that there is a return of investment, which is quite good actually, that we can show some of the nice charts, nice tables, nice outputs regarding our work and what is happening on the market and what kind of results we have, and we bring value to the company, basically. The next one is about anticipating and forecasting. It is usually said that CEOs look in the future, look what will happen in the short term or long term, predict different situations, different problems, but HR usually looks back in history, doesn't focus on the future, but focus on some kind of previous data. HR rarely issues any warning regarding potential problems with the people that can occur in the near future, and that CFOs and CMOs are more proactive than reactive, and that HR usually waits something to happen and then to react and to do something regarding the situation. The next thing that is usually said why people from HR don't become CEOs is lack of global thinking. So they said they need to be aware of what is happening in the world. When the price of oil goes down somewhere in Asia or Middle East, we need to be aware as a company because it has a big impact on us. And regarding HRs, they usually don't care about it. This is not their topic. They're focused on people practice, but not on something which is a wider view of the market and wider view of all the things that influence our business, basically. The next one is regarding people leader versus corporate leader. So it is said that usually as a CEO, you need to be more focused on managing processes than people, especially when we talk about the companies which are not in service but in production, for example. So it is said that people from HR are usually people leaders. They're focused on people, they're focused on their needs, they're focused on their the whole corporate culture. But regarding the corporate leader, how it is like, what is the picture about the corporate leader nowadays is that this kind of leader needs to be more focused on managing processes than people itself. So this is also sometimes challenging because when you speak with CFOs or CMOs, they usually use this kind of nice sentences or nice words like financial statements, margins, profits, return of investment, efficiency, and so on and so on. And when you speak with people from HR, they usually use some different words like effort, satisfaction, or the famous sentence, we have a new program. So this is also this kind of form of wording that is being used is also something which makes this kind of a little bit negative picture regarding possibilities of HR becoming a CEO. The next one is about responsiveness and effectiveness. How quick the HR thinks, how quick the HR reacts to some of the critical situations that are happening within the company. And they say HR usually thinks too much and too long. They're very good at bringing the whole analysis. They are very good at bringing the whole picture about the potential approach. But we need action. We need to act quickly. We need to do something as soon as possible, and it's much more important to do it efficiently and fast than to do it in the best or perfect way. And a couple of other reasons. When we speak about the roles of assistant versus the role of advisor, it is usually said that HR does very well what a CEO say. It follows perfectly all the instructions. It delivers perfectly the idea of a CEO. It delivers perfectly some new programs and so on and so on. But most often doesn't challenge the CEO. Most often doesn't say openly, look, I don't think this is the best practice. I don't think this is the best approach. In my opinion, this is not the perfect way how to do things. It's more often like the role of the HR is to be some kind of assistant and advisor, or to say how the things could be done in the best possible way, but not to say if that is the best possible way, or maybe there is some other way which is much better. Next reason usually stated is to forget equity and equality. So the sentence the CEO say is focus on top performers, not underperformers. They say we are, in a company, we need to make money. We are not in some kind of socialist surrounding when everybody needs to be the same. And you shouldn't treat everybody the same. This is the sentence usually said by the CEO. We need to focus on people who are bringing us results, who are bringing us success, and not spending too much time, too much effort on the other underperformers. And the picture about the HR is that we give too much attention to underperformers, to people who we try to raise and to improve, so we could have, let's say, an equity, or we could have equality in the company that we are working in. So usually we are afraid that some people will feel jeopardized, or maybe that they're in a less good position than some other people within the company. And two more, maybe the most important ones. The first one is build an HR brand. So if you work in a company that people from commercial departments are very good in making the brand of their own division. They know how to show results. They know how to say and when to say some good things about their work, about the work of their people and their teams. And regarding HR, it's usually like we don't feel good at sharing our results, about saying that we've done something in a good way. It's like, okay, it's natural, it is expected of us, and we shouldn't work on it, we shouldn't promote it, and so on and so on. And this is one of the biggest mistakes, probably, because people cannot see results and impact of HR practices. So if we go a little bit in the back, you saw that usually it's very hard to show the concrete specific results of the HR practices. And additionally, if we don't promote even those that we can share and that we can show, then we have a problem of our work doesn't being recognized generally within the company. And also there is another very interesting fact. So most of you know about the name of business partners within the company. So when you say a business partner, what does it mean basically? It's a partner of someone from the business. So it's not someone from the business, but it's a partner of someone from the business, It's a wife or a husband of someone from the business, but not that exact person. So by saying this, or by naming the position business partner, it's also additional thing that we in some way distance ourselves from the business, from all the hard business functions like CMOs, CFOs, all other things that exist, production, and so on and so on. And this is some maybe easy thing to change and something which maybe you will say, but it's not so important. But generally it is, because it is a beginning of building an HR brand as a business function. And the last one, which is maybe the most often the hardest to do, is declare intentions. So CEOs say, but I never got a question from an HR if they can prepare themselves to become a CEO one day. They never say they're interested. So I guess they're not interested in this. They never say that they would like to pursue this kind of career. They're stereotyping themselves as a staff person or strictly behind being the players behind the scene, but not the ones who are in front of the scene. And these are some basic things which usually are shared by the CEOs. But let's see some of the facts why this isn't the truth and why it should be different. This is very interesting survey which was done by the Harvard Business Review, and it is explaining different leadership styles, thinking styles, and emotional competencies by people from different areas. So you can see here that there are some CEOs, some CFOs, some COOs, and so on and so on. And the light blue is the HR people, basically. So if you look at all of these circles and all of these results, you can see that actually the people from the HR functions are the closest one, almost in every of those aspects, to the CEOs. This red dot is CEO. So you can see that people from HR are very close here, and almost on every of the aspects regarding leadership styles, thinking styles, emotional competencies. But there are two aspects where they are not so close. The first one is about leadership style, where people from the HR usually don't use so much of so-called intellectual leadership style, of thinking leadership style, but they're more focused on social style. So being with people, sharing with people, supporting people, and so on, but not being in this kind of hard facts leadership style. And also the second one, which is very important, is the last one, regarding emotional competencies, and it's about confidence. So look at this. The people from the CEO functions, they show the biggest confidence as emotional competence. So they're confident all the time, or they at least show the confidence all the time. But it's totally opposite regarding people from the HR functions. They have the least confidence regarding emotional competencies of all other functions. So basically, if we sum up this interesting view, it's these two aspects which are making the biggest difference, and the reason why HROs are not seen as a future potential CEOs in the companies. So why HR should become the next CEO? And basically, there are some situations and there are some cases that HR has become a CEO in a large international company. So you have Mr. Bernard Fontana, who is the CEO of a Swiss cement company, Holcim. So you know about Holcim. So he worked as an HR. And Mary Barra, CEO of General Motors, the large global company, and also Anna Mulcahy, who was a CEO of Xerox Global. So those are really big international companies which had their CEOs who previously were heads of HR departments. So coming back to this, why CHR should become the next CEO? The first thing is to increase human capital returns during a merger. It is very important because they're very good at promoting a good culture during a merger. They're good at promoting people and supporting them during the situation when there are two companies going together and there is a lot of uncertainty. The second one, they can conquer agility by creating a cultural psychological safety. Because in this kind of all situations when the business is speeding up, We need someone who will bring psychological safety, who will bring mental health to the company and be there to calm down the whole situation and the people in the company. The third one is HR people are great at building trust internally and externally. So trust is the most important word in HR, and HR people are very good at this. They're bringing trust to the company and they're showing the importance of trust. HR people do not promote so much so-called silos effect. HR people are much better in cooperating with other departments, and they're bringing the value to other departments, so they're not closing into their own silos and defending their own people and saying all other departments are less important. And of course, it is about better talent recognition, because this is a basic work of HR and also very important work from a CEO. HR brings long-term thinking. They know how to see things for the future. And I will share just one additional thing with you. It's what happens if HR becomes a CEO. This is a survey done by Korn Ferry, and it says that people who were HRs and became the CEOs, this is the measurement of the companies in some period of time, their companies had much better employee retention, much better employee performance, much better revenue growth, and better profit. So we can show these numbers to people from business areas, and we can say, look, people, these are the exact facts why it is okay someone from the HR to become a CEO. In what kind of a context? When HRs are the best CEOs? When there is a good market position, so-called blue ocean. When there is a long-term perspective, when we can plan long-term, because some other functions are better than HR in planning short-term impacts and short-term changes, but long-term perspectives are better regarding the HR. And also regarding service-oriented companies, I mentioned the production companies. People from HR are better in leading service-oriented companies because it's more about the people. And also about long existing companies or tech-oriented companies. So you heard about the example from the General Motors, from Holcim, from Xerox. Those are old companies, long existing companies. So they had their CEOs from the HR, but it's also the case in some of the tech-oriented companies. So I would finish with one last thing, and it is about the competencies to develop by the HR in order to become the CEO. So this is not anything new. It's about problems, anticipation, thinking about the future, being courageous. And what is the most important, saying, yes, I would like to become a CEO. It's about financial literacy, because it's not reserved from someone from CMO or CMO area, but for everybody. It is about strategical thinking on the level of the company, and also about the market knowledge. Commercial wording also can be useful for this, and everything here about the competencies can be done through job rotation as the best possible way how to do things. So I would like to thank you, and just to send a message at the end, if you would like to become a CEO and you have this kind of aspiration, the first thing is go there and really say it.